Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front lower ball joint on this 2004 Volkswagen Jetta. And we show you on the passenger side, but the driver's side is the same procedure. And the items you'll need for this is a new ball joint from 1AAuto.com, 16, 17, and 18 millimeter socket and ratchet, 13, 18, and 19 millimeter wrenches, 7 millimeter Allen bit, locking pliers, torque wrench, jack and jack stands, and a hammer. Start off using a 7 millimeter Allen and just prying out these lug nut caps. We'll fast forward as he does the rest of those. And you'll notice that this lug nut is a little different than the others. You're going to need a key to remove it. And that key can be found right here next to your jack stand in your trunk. And you can just push it into that lug nut, and now it removes just like a regular lug nut.
If you don't have the benefit of air-powered tools, then loosen up the lug nuts while the vehicle's on the ground, raise and support the vehicle, and then remove them the rest of the way.
Once the lug nuts are removed, the wheel will pull right off. And your lower control arm is located right here. And you want to start off by removing these two 18 millimeter bolts.
And you can see on the first one, we use our socket and ratchet and a piece of pipe for some extra leverage to get it going.
And for this bolt, you're going to need both hands to remove it. So first, just break it free. And then you're going to want to put an 18 millimeter wrench on the top of it. And then use your socket and ratchet for the bolt itself. We'll just fast forward as Don does this. Next, remove this 16 millimeter bolt in your sway bar link. At the top of this ball joint, there's a 13 millimeter nut, and you want to go ahead and remove that. And to do that, you want to put some locking pliers in between the gasket on the ball joint and the wheel knuckle, and then using a 13 millimeter wrench, remove the nut at the top. And we'll just fast forward as Don does this. Once that's removed, just pull the wheel away and then pull the control arm down and out. Next, remove these three 13 millimeter bolts that hold the ball joint in place. And once those are removed, your ball joint pulls right out. On the left is your old ball joint. On the right is the new one from 1A Auto. You can see they're identical and they're going to fit exactly the same. Take your new ball joint, and you can see we're using a new control arm just because of the condition of our older one. And you just put that bracket into place and then put the bolts up through the bottom. And we'll just fast forward as Don does this and then tightens those up. And then torque each of these to 40 foot-pounds. Push the lower control arm back into place, and you may need a hammer to help push it back. And put one of your bolts in. If it doesn't fit, hammer it back a little further. Push the bolt in all the way, and then put the nut on the other side of it. And to make sure the other side lines up, push that bolt back into place. And now you can line up your ball joint and push that up into the wheel knuckle. and then just replace that nut at the top of the ball joint. And we'll fast forward as Don tightens up those 2 bolts and that nut at the top of the ball joint. And the nut on our new ball joint was 19 millimeters. Now torque those 2 18 millimeter bolts to 70 foot-pounds. And replace that 16 millimeter bolt in your sway bar link and tighten it up. Push the wheel back into place and line up the holes for the lug bolts. And then replace the lug bolts. And if you don't have air-powered tools, you want to tighten these preliminarily, lower the vehicle, and then tighten them the rest of the way. And then lower the vehicle and torque each lug nut to 100 foot-pounds in a crossing pattern. Replace your lug nut caps and you're all set.
We hope this video helps you out. Brought to you by oneaauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free, 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.